In touch with CBS News and this CBS station throughout the evening for the latest on the crisis in Haiti. Of course, there'll be complete wrap-ups on your late local news and on the CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Deborah Norville, New York. Thanks a lot for being with us, and from all of us here, good night.
CBS News. Will Haiti be better off after we toss him out? Maybe yes, maybe no. Look at Panama. In many ways, they are worse off since we tossed him out. 60 Minutes tonight.
This is CBS.
Up next in your weekend news, as the Haitians wait for the fate of their country to be decided, we'll hear from a Haitian living in the Twin Cities who's watching the action from afar. And the Vikings mascot was kicking back on Lake Minnetonka today while the team did a little kicking of its own. I'm Scott Reynolds. Amy Marsalis has the day off. Your weekend news coming up next.
You got to see it to believe it. Who said that you can't have it all? You have a ball. There's a place for fun in your life. Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life. Mall of America.
Question: what's America's #1 selling minivan? What minivan is under $16,400 with all this and is only at your Dodge dealer? Answer: Dodge Caravan. So go get the family. For all the answers, see your nearest Dodge dealer today. Question: why is now the perfect time to buy a new Dodge car or truck? Answer: the Dodge Summer Clearance Celebration. So hurry in right now.
Ouch!
Ever notice life's more fun
Ouch!
when nobody's looking? Jackpot Junction Casino, conveniently located miles from anyone you know.
It has a 247 horsepower engine, 228 pounds of torque, a top speed of 162 miles per hour, and goes from 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds. But when you're out in rush hour traffic, it's faster to ride the bus.
This is your news. Or News Weekend.
The world watched as the talks continued in Haiti. President Carter and his delegation are getting ready to leave that island nation after meeting with General Raul Cedras. The talks went on much longer than anyone thought, well past noon today, but there is still no word on what kind of deal, if any deal, has been reached. Good evening, I'm Scott Reynolds. As the world watches and waits, so do natives of Haiti living here in the Twin Cities. And Rhonda Kinchlow joins us now with a story of one Twin Cities man.
Scott, it has been an emotional roller coaster for many of the Haitians that we talked with today. They are aware of the increasing danger and unrest in their homeland, and the pain intensifies because of the way they have to find out information about Haiti. CNN has become the messenger for Haitians living in the United States. Nick has lived in St. Paul for 3 years. He says Haiti's corrupt army has hit close to home. 2 weeks ago, a close family friend was murdered, and now his brother, who still lives in Port-au-Prince, fears for his life.
The phone rang and rang and rang, and then somebody picked it up and then hung up right then. And I suspect that he's afraid. Nobody wants, probably doesn't want to talk to anybody on the phone.
And Nick says he is not encouraged by the long talks today between the U.S. delegation and the leaders of the Haitian army. He thinks that even if the army leaders leave Haiti, the army will remain intact and very corrupt. And he says a full invasion is the only way to restore democracy and peace to the island nation.
What are his thoughts about Aristide?
One of the things we talked about was voting. Nick said that he had not voted yet in the elections in Haiti and that he had not voted in his life, as a matter of fact, and that's one of the things that he wants to be able to do. Had he been there in '91, he would have voted for Aristide.
You did not use a last name here. I take it he might fear reprisal?
He fears for reprisals. He's very fearful at this point because the gentleman who died 2 weeks ago was a close family friend and very close to his brother there in Port-au-Prince, and he feels as though his brother could be a target at this point.
But he hopes to return to his native land?
He hopes to return to Port-au-Prince. He's lived there all his life and, of course, wants to go back in about 2 to 3 years when things are back to normal, as close to back to normal as possible.
All right, thanks very much. Rhonda Kinchlow reporting. And this morning during Spotlight on Politics with Pat Kessler, we asked Minnesota's 2 senators what they think about a possible invasion of Haiti. Neither supports it in terms of national interest, and both say Congress has not been adequately informed of the president's plans.
What is the goal and objective? I mean, what are you going to try to accomplish, and how long do you think, and what sort of resources will it take to accomplish that end, so that in one way or another we can be all in this together? None of us like to be standing on the side throwing spears at the President of the United States.
Understand the timing of this. We could be going in as of 3 o'clock Monday morning with troops there, and then it sort of depends upon what's on the floor. It becomes kind of difficult then as to what the, if you will, voice of the House and the Senate is going to be, because you want to support those troops. You don't want to undercut them. By the same token, I will always say you should have congressional approval. That's my framework.
Meanwhile, President Clinton and ousted Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide remain in Washington, D.C. We now go live to CBS reporter Elizabeth Caledon for the latest in Washington.
Well, there's a lot of anticipation here at the White House. What will happen? What was the outcome of the talks? We have been told that the Carter delegation has wrapped up its talks and has placed a phone call to the White House and has briefed White House officials on a plan, the details of which we still do not know. The White House is being very cautious at this hour, not issuing any public or official statements about what happened in the talks, whether they were a success or a failure, and they are still saying it could go either way. We have also learned that National Security Advisor Anthony Lake and William Gray, who is the White House Special Advisor on Haiti, have been dispatched to brief Jean-Bertrand Aristide, the exiled president of Haiti, on what happened in Haiti today. And that's what we know from here so far.
Elizabeth, is it safe to say that we, being the public, probably won't hear anything definite until Carter and the delegation land back here in the U.S.?
Still don't know that fact yet. The White House has said it is still not prepared to make an official statement, and the delegation has a long trip back from Haiti. We understand it is a 6-hour trip for them. They will stop over in Puerto Rico before they touch down here in Washington to meet with the president. Whether or not we'll get an official response from the White House tonight is still unknown, but if we do, we'll certainly let you know.
All right, thanks. Elizabeth Caledon reporting live from the White House, and we do want to mention that CBS has reported a possible arrangement has been reached at this hour, so we'll keep you up to date if there's any new news on that coming up before the end of this broadcast. Well, the day's top local story involves the death of a man either on or near railroad tracks. That incident happened 1 mile south of Isanti. The victim was a man, but the person's name and age have not been released. And in St. Paul this morning, a new Mustang convertible crashed into a building. The accident happened at the Bibelo shop on Grand and Lexington. Police say the driver turned too fast onto Grand, lost control, and jumped the curb. No one was hurt. The driver was cited. And on the bright side this Sunday afternoon, members of the Jewish Community Center of Greater Minneapolis are celebrating the Harvest Festival of Sukkot. Today, kids helped make a mural that is part of a huge sukkah, which is a temporary booth constructed at harvest time. And still to come in your weekend news, Ralph John Fritz will show us just how black and blue the beat-up Bears really are. And the same group that protested the demolition of Met Stadium is now asking for Congress to get involved in the baseball strike. And then a bit later, if you think your toddler can really move, wait till you see these babies go.
You're watching 4 News Weekend.
In the heartland, people don't buy trucks because of a special badge. They buy trucks because they're dependable and comfortable. That's why around here, more people buy the Chevy CK Extended Cab than any other. You get more standard horsepower and more interior room than Ford F-Series Super Cab. And right now, your Heartland Chevy dealers have a big selection of CK Extended Cabs available the way you want them, with V8s, automatics, and more. So don't just settle for a special badge. Go with the best-selling Extended Cab during clearance time at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers. Start bypass. Not even heart patients seem to worry about high cholesterol.
We got a bleeder here.
Hey, why worry about clogged arteries? Can't see them, you can't feel them. They should have my job. There it is. It's one of the biggest killers in America. Thing is, it doesn't have to be this way. If people would just work with their doctors, they could control their high cholesterol. Even stop the buildup of plaque in their arteries. It's the buildup that puts people at risk of heart attack. Heart attacks hurt everybody. He's okay for now.
High cholesterol is serious. If your cholesterol is high and you have heart disease or 2 or more of these risk factors, see your doctor and call 1-800-470-6444 for this free informative booklet on high cholesterol and the risks of heart disease.
If people would just work with their doctors.
This message is sponsored by Merck in cooperation with the American Heart Association.
When's the best time to get into a Mercury Topaz? How about right now? Especially with over $2,400 in total savings. That's right. Now save big on the value-packed, quality-built Mercury Topaz. Topaz gives you great features like power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, AM/FM cassette stereo, and more. All wrapped up in a car that's fun to drive. Mercury Topaz. Now with $2,400 in savings, the time to buy is now. Better hurry. This offer's only for a limited time. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer now.
Just sit right back and hear a tale of a big boat trip.
Well, this is a sight you've probably never seen before. The Vikings mascot singing and piloting a boat on Lake Minnetonka. Why, you ask? Well, these creative water lovers decided to host a sailgate party. They loaded the TV on board the boat and watched the Vikings cream the Bears. Who needs Lake Michigan? Maybe this December, they'll go for a sledgate party, a bunch of snowmobiles out in the middle of some field, Matt.
They might do that. You know, they didn't have a lot of waves out there today. Beautiful day out on the lake, I think.
Perfect.
Beautiful day. And in fact, it's still a very pleasant evening to be outside and enjoying a frosty little drink. This worked before. You know, and it is a great night to be out, and we're not going to have many more like this. In fact, there's a big change coming up in the next few days. So I think if you're planning to sit outside and enjoy some of this nice weather, well, this would be a good evening to do it, and the next couple perhaps, and then after that, things are going to be changing. You know, here's a live picture from our Skyview camera, and you can see plenty of blue sky. What's missing from this picture? Clouds. And clouds have been missing most of the day. That's the way it's been this whole weekend. This evening will not be any different. I think if you have a chance to get outside and sit for a couple of hours in the garden or out on the patio or just outdoors in general, it'll be well worth it this evening. 82 was the high, 54 the low. Those temperatures well above the normals, which are now 70 and 48. Right now we have plenty of sunshine. It's 81 degrees. The dew point still comfortable in the 50s, and a north wind at the moment, it's at 9 miles per hour. The relative humidity is all the way down to 39%, so it's a very dry atmosphere, very pleasant to be outdoors right now. Temperatures have been mainly in the upper 70s and lower 80s across most of Minnesota and western Wisconsin for the last couple of hours. 80s here. The cool spot is up north, 68 degrees right now in Warroad. That is where the cool air is expected to stay, at least for the next 36 to 48 hours. Satellite pictures will show clouds weren't just missing across the Twin Cities metropolitan area today, but this evening those clouds gone across most of Minnesota and Wisconsin, Iowa, and the Dakotas, thanks to a high-pressure ridge located right over the upper Midwest. That high-pressure ridge has allowed some warm air to bubble up across the upper Midwest, the upper airflow keeping most of the storms well up into Canada, and that has enabled us to have a great weekend for this last weekend of summer, but it's not going to hold up forever, as you know. Here's a look at expected high temperatures this week. We're going to be in the 80s tomorrow, but temperatures will be cooling. There's a big cooling trend coming up toward the middle of the week, so that by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll have highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Friday is when the first day of fall officially begins, but you'll feel fall-like temperatures as early as Wednesday. So tonight, that high pressure in charge, well, it's going to slide off to the east. We really won't see any change in our weather over the next 24 hours. Should have plenty of sunshine again tomorrow. We might have a storm system bring us a little bit of precipitation by Tuesday morning or on Wednesday, but highs tomorrow should be warm once again, mainly in the 80s. Your forecast for the rest of the evening then for tonight, clear. It'll be 52. We're going to have a light wind. Then tomorrow a day much like today, mostly sunny. We should be in the 80s once again, 83 for a high temperature, a southeast to south wind at 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, increase in clouds. There's a chance of a shower late That means closer to Tuesday morning, a low of 58 degrees. And then on Tuesday, we will have a chance for some showers out there. Otherwise, a high of 77. And the extended outlook for the period Wednesday through Friday, you saw those cooler temperatures. And that's exactly what we will have. Maybe some rain on Wednesday, but maybe some frost on Friday morning. So those of you who have gardens, you're going to keep an eye on that. We'll, of course, let you know if there's a real problem for it. And, Scott, I do have a chair up here and another glass for you if you'd like to join me.
Sure. Sounds like we might need hot cocoa by midweek.
Well, we might, but if you come up this evening, just bring some sort of salty snack treat.
Okay, will do. Okay. Be right there. Still to come in your weekend news, the Diaper Derby extravaganza. That and more in a moment.
Something big is happening at your Northland Ford dealer.
Just announced, straight from the factory, big factory-to-dealer incentives on America's #1 selling trucks. We're talking 94 Ford F-Series pickups with special incentives that will save you big money. Choose from F-150s, 250s, and 350s, 4x2s and 4x4s, regular cabs and super cabs, manual transmissions and automatics, every one with huge factory-to-dealer incentives. But hurry, these special incentives end September 28th, so see your Northland Ford dealer now.
Dad, can I help you work some car?
Sure.
Honey, telephone.
Here, Daddy.
Ask for Valvoline 530, 1030, or 1040, just $109 now through Saturday.
If you're going to work on cars, you better know where to get the parts. Come on, we'll take Mom's car.
We got the parts.
Big Wheel Rossi.
Hot eats. Hot eats. Cool treats. At Dairy Queen.
When you order by number, it adds up to fun with super value meals for as little as $1.99. The hamburger super value meal now just $1.99. Or for a little more, get one of our other super value meals, like one with a double cheeseburger or a grilled chicken sandwich. With super value meals, value's as simple as 1, 2, 3.
Hot eats. Cool treats. We treat you right.
If you're still up in the air about which new car to buy, consider this. The price of a Pontiac Grand Am and a Honda Accord start out at about the same level. But while options like air, automatic, and anti-lock brakes don't raise the Grand Am's price, they put the Accord's price right through the roof. The 95 Pontiac Grand Am is $2,500 less than Accord. And now it's an even better value with $500 cash back. See your Pontiac Excitement dealer.
Well, tonight, public television begins a series on the history of baseball. And in St. Paul, some dedicated fans will gather at a bar to watch what, for them, will have to do as a replacement for the pennant race. The strike that shut down the major leagues has brought calls for new laws. And as Alan Cox reports, it's reopened wounds for the baseball romantics.
14 Septembers ago, this was the diehard fans' lament.
But they're going to be tearing this place down. This baseball stadium, one of the 3 best in the world, this last bastion of baseball stability, is only 25 years old. Tearing it down and replacing it with an antiseptic plastic marketing and housing complex is another victory for industrial greed.
And today, history repeats. Fans complaining about greed.
It's going to come January, February, and we may not even have a spring training next year. I think that's what's going to really hurt the real hardcores.
But we've had the dates for the World Series on our calendars for months. You know when Game 1 is, you know when Game 2 is. You make plans around this stuff, and that's when it's going to hit, too.
It's not that the majors have a monopoly on outdoor baseball. Some of those dedicated fans spent much of their summer here, rooting on the Saints at St. Paul Municipal Stadium. But the Saints are gone. In the stadium, the football goalposts have gone up in the outfield. And when World Series time rolls around next month, baseball will be but a faded memory in Minnesota. These fans organize tours of outdoor stadiums. They say ticket boycotts won't work. Their last hope is Congress.
I think the whole game should be regulated at this point in time. I mean, the blackmailing between cities, the revenue sharing that they can't figure out. In many ways, if it truly is an unregulated monopoly, why not regulate it like you do NSP?
So tonight, they'll relive memories of baseball past, then try to forget what baseball became. In St. Paul, Alan Cox, 4 News Sunday.
Congress will hold hearings this week on a proposal to take away baseball's exemption from the antitrust laws. Now, supporters say that would force serious negotiations to end the baseball strike. Prospects for that bill appear dim, however. Sports without baseball, but plenty of football and golf coming up.
Call Pizza Hut now for the new Double Take. 2 medium pizzas with 2 toppings and a 2-liter Pepsi, just $11.99. 2 pizzas, 2 toppings, and a 2-liter Pepsi for $11.99. The Double Take.
Call 488-8888. Oh, yeah.
Just a few words about the new Chevy S-Series. Test drive the new leader of the pack during clearance time at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Here's the latest now on Haiti. CBS is reporting that there is no deal reached now between Jimmy Carter, Colin Powell, Sam Nunn, and the military leaders ruling right now in Haiti. However, we have also learned from CBS that there has been pressure for Jimmy Carter and that delegation to leave Haiti, but at this time he is resisting that and wants to stay on. We'll have more on that coming up from CBS a little bit later. But now we've got Ralph here with great news about the Vikings today. They finally clicked.
You're right. You get news like that, football's kind of superfluous, but you're right. It was Throwback Sunday, back for 75 years. It was really kind of nice to have both for a change, too. Offense and defense. Vikings big over the Bears. 42-14 for the Vikes. It started with Warren Moon throwing an interception at the goal line. Visions of here we go again popped up, but the Vikings started the scoring binge in the second quarter. Terry Allen did the old belly flop into the end zone for a 7-0 lead. The half ended 10-0, still anyone's game, but the Vikings got it going, an 18-yard pass. Moon to Jake Reed. This one followed a Viking interception. It was 20-zip Vikes. Moon was 22 of 29, 236 yards. The Viking defense was outstanding once again. Rookie Dwayne Washington's 81-yard interception return of an Eric Kramer pass gave the Purple their third of 5 touchdowns on the afternoon. Terry Allen added touchdown number 4, and it was 35-0 after this score. Allen 159 yards rushing on 22 carries. Robert Smith got into the act. 14-yard run for a late score, and the Vikings rolled to a 42-14 romp. Vikes 2-1 on the year now, awaiting Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins next Sunday at the Dome. And Mark Rosen's going to have all the ins and outs of the Vikings battle with the Bears tonight on Rosen Sports Sunday, which, by the way, will air a half hour later this evening at 11:05. Well, the Pack went way back this afternoon wearing uniforms even Curly Lambeau would question. Brett Favre was in style early, hitting Reggie Cobb for 6, but enter Randall Cunningham. He snuck in for 6, add 2 Eddie Murray field goals, and the Eagles sent the Pack back to the future, 13-7 the final there. The Eagles were minus Reggie White, still managed to sack Brett Favre 6 times. New Orleans got 3 field goals for Morton Anderson to nip Tampa Bay 9-7 as the final in that one. The tropical temperatures weren't all that hot in Miami, where the Dolphins, the next Viking foe, Dan Marino, continues to heat it up. Marino hit Keith Byers for Miami's 2nd touchdown and a 14-0 lead. The Jets, clad in Namath green, relied on Boomer Esiason, and he launched this pass down Broadway to Richie Anderson to bring New York within 7. But the Dolphins countered by reaching into their bag of tricks. Marino hits Keith Jackson, who appears to be on his way to pay dirt. He improvises. With the aid of Irving Fryer, he takes it in. Dolphins drown the Jets 28-14. Marino and the 3-0 Dolphins at the Dome next Sunday. Cleveland shuts out Arizona 32-0. First shutout suffered by Buddy Ryan in 6 years as a head coach. Pittsburgh beats Indy by 10. Perhaps it was the Steelers' uniforms that inspired them to play so ugly in the first half. The Colts' Quentin Coriat returned a Steeler fumble, 78 yards for a score. The Steelers rallied with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Barry Foster rushed for 179 yards and a touchdown. The Steelers win ugly, 31-21. Well, Buffalo beat Houston 15-7 on 5 Steve Christie field goals. In the late scores, the Rams are trailing San Francisco in the fourth, 20-10 there. Also in the fourth, Washington trailing New York. The Giants with a 31-23 lead. And it is San Diego about to go 3-0, leading Houston 24-3. New England has beaten Cincinnati again. They score 31 points, hang on to win by 3. And it's the L.A. Raiders clobbering John Elway in the Denver. The Broncos about to go 0-3, 41-16 in the fourth quarter. Well, the first annual President's Cup golf tournament went to the United States as Freddie Couples came up with almost in the cup. Nick Price still had a chance. He needed... The Kansas City Royals have wasted no time in looking for a new manager after the firing of Hal McRae. They have offered the job to Whitey Herzog in hopes he can develop their young talent, as they say. They're going to meet tomorrow or Tuesday. Herzog turned that job down earlier this year, so whether he takes it or not, we don't know, but they're looking at Herzog as their new manager.
Be fun to see him back.
It would.
All right. Thanks, Ralph. We'll be right back in a moment.
Buick owners, we know you love the Buick you're driving now. After all, you gave Buick its reputation for owner loyalty. Now, we're giving you something back. The Buick Owner Bonus. Make your best deal on a new Buick, then save even more. Get a special incentive direct from the factory. It's only for Buick owners, and it's only for a limited time. So see your Buick dealer now and save big on the Buick Owner Bonus. Hurry, you've earned it.
Most places make their hamburgers from beef that's been frozen. We don't think they taste as good as hamburgers made with fresh beef. That's why at Wendy's, we use only fresh beef. Take our 99-cent Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. We make it hot off the grill with 2 full strips of bacon, not halves, and we charge just 99 cents. With our super value menu, you can get a great meal for not a lot of money.
At Wendy's, you don't pay more, you just get more.
Now Cadillac introduces powerful new savings on the most powerful line of luxury cars with up to $3,500 in factory-to-dealer bonuses that can be passed on to you when you buy any new 94 Cadillac from dealer stock, even those with the power of the North Star system. There's never been a better time to reward yourself with a new Cadillac. So see your Cadillac dealer for details. But don't wait. This limited time offer ends soon.
Visit your Greater Minnesota Cadillac dealer today.
Feedback. What is it anyway? Is it music to your ears or a massive headache? Maybe it's a message you can't hear at all, yet comes across loud and clear. Do you get feedback by writing a line, casting a line, or saying a line? There's the kind of feedback that makes learning fun and not so fun. There are as many kinds of feedback as there are people, but there's only one place where your feedback works. 4 News, your news.
Well, we lost a little time, so we're going to delay that diaper derby story till 10. We hope you'll join us then and enjoy Lethal Weapon 2.
You can project light in any direction, but unless it's focused, you can't see clearly. That's why Infinity employed special projector beam headlights for the J30 to safely focus light where you need it. The J also has dual airbags, ABS, and seatbelt pretensioners, but you're less likely to need them if you see the light.
Start bypass. Not even heart patients seem to worry about high cholesterol.
Got a bleeder here.
Hey, why worry about clogged arteries? Can't see them, you can't feel them. They should have my job. There it is. It's one of the biggest killers in America. Thing is, it doesn't have to be this way. If people would just work with their doctors, they could control their high cholesterol. Even stop the buildup of plaque in their arteries. It's the buildup that puts people at risk of heart attack. Heart attacks hurt everybody. He's okay for now.
High cholesterol is serious. If your cholesterol is high and you have heart disease or 2 or more of these risk factors, see your doctor and call 1-800-470-6444 for this free informative booklet on high cholesterol and the risks of heart disease.
If people would just work with their doctors.
This message is sponsored by Merck in cooperation with the American Heart Association.
We've told this elephant that from now on she'll need to dial 1 plus 612 for most long-distance calls within the 612 area code. Because elephants are known to have extraordinary memories, we know she won't forget. Remember, that's 1 plus 612.
For most people, a true luxury performance sedan always seems a bit out of reach. That's why Infiniti created the G20, so you could drive a world-class car while you're still young enough to enjoy it. Infiniti luxury and performance at a surprisingly affordable price. You only live once. It's time to get started.
Rosen Sports Sunday, Sunday at 10:35.
Before we begin, let's go to Dan Rather for a brief update